Hello and welcome to Royale Without Cheese, our bi-weekly podcast in which we discuss both the classic and the unknown of art and popular cinema from the then and now. We are your hosts, me, Miguel Aido, Leonardo Miranda,
Hey guys.
and Tomás Ferreira.
Hey.
Today we talk about Train to Busan, but before any ados, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, or simply give us a like. Train to Busan is a 2016 South Korean action horror film directed by Yeon Sang-ho. The film mostly takes place on a train from Seoul to Busan as a zombie apocalypse suddenly breaks out in the country and threatens the safety of the passengers. The film premiered in the midnight screening section of the 2016 Cannes Film Festival on May 13th. On August, the film set a record as the first Korean film of 2016 to break the audience record of over 10 million theater-goers. The movie also successfully launched the Train to Busan film series, with the animated prequel Seoul Station released in 2016, and a standalone sequel named Peninsula released in 2020. Moreover, another installment and an American-produced adaptation are also currently in development. Very well, surely a very popular brain gabagool session for the whole family. But what did RWC truly think of this rampage fest of crazed zombies on a train?
Oh my god.
Fellas, what do we say?
It's alright. It's alright.
That's new, to say the least. That's new territory in the impression game. But was this your first time watching it?
This was my first time.
Because you were the one who suggested this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a joyride of thrills. I think the horror is very well done. As per, I think zombies are the most effective when they know how to run, when they do CrossFit, when they're really good at getting you, because then they become quite scary. When they're slow, kind of sluggish, and it's a cliche. But here, these zombies
is it a cliche if they're slow? It's fair. The fast running zombies are very popular. Are they not? Am I crazy?
Popular in recent years, no?
Exactly. I mean, things
just World War Z, I
they come
think.
in waves. They tend to be a little faster.
Because normally they tend to be slow, dumb, etc. Well, they're dumb anyway. But there's
the 28
image.
28 weeks, days, whatever later, they're pretty fast.
Those are fast. I've also commented that on that film, that's precisely the thing that makes them scary, is the fact they're fast. That was the first film where I saw fast zombies, for me at least.
Maybe it's just my wrong idea.
Way back.
Because it's Train to Busan in that one. But maybe the others are slow.
We have done a zombie film last year. Was that one? Those are slow.
I mean, we argued about that. I thought they were scary. Slow, they're more interesting if they're slow than if they're fast.
Yeah, that's interesting. So there's different audiences here. Fast for slow, slow and fast.
No, because it's completely different. It's different taste, because the slowness, it's what you're exploring. Obviously, if it's an action film, thrills, you need them to be fast. But Night of the Living Dead is not that. It's like it's more contemplative. It's more about a social commentary type of thing. So I think the slowness works because it also makes them, the line between what is a zombie and what is a human becomes blurred, and that's part of the point. In a film like this, there's no blurred lines. It's like, those things are horrific monsters. We must kill them, and that's it.
Yeah, I do agree with that
tastes.
film. Yeah, with that film working, but in terms of pure terror of the monster itself, I would agree with Maj that it's not as scary. Although, for example, in a show like Walking Dead, where they are also slow, I think they can also do a lot of good sequences, using slower zombies to really amplify the horror. Yeah, also as well, yeah. But I mean, there's also a sense of, when characters are trapped or something, if they are slow, it's even more, tenseful to just wait it out to see when they come. So there's also an interesting side of it when they are slow that can bring an added piece of tension and horror to certain scenes. But yeah, in this one they're fast, and we gotta
very fast.
We gotta be quick.
Waves,
we're gonna catch
and violent and violent. They're fast. The way they choreograph their movements.
They turn. They're bit, and it's like
quick they turn.
15 seconds.
How quick they transform. That they get up. They break through glass. They break through windows, through doors. Except train doors. That's the thing they can't break. They can break big doors in trains, but train doors.
To be fair, they usually cover the train door pretty quickly too, so that if they can't see them, they don't go after them.
Once or
But
twice
there
they've
was
done that, but
yeah,
plenty of times where yeah. But
yeah,
anyway, that was the main impact of the film, was the fact that when the horror comes and there are beautifully, the makeup slash VFX done on the background artists who are doing the zombies is quite good and quite scary, with the blood coming out of them to quite feel like a sort of anime is Japanese, but that's the feeling that it gives me, with the fast moving and the way they move. It's very specific to that side of the world. So it's very interesting to see them move against the people. And of course, we have the old thing, a confined space, a train, where corralled against this horrible, disgusting danger is something that is, very effusive in terms of emotion. Now, the directing is very dull. That's the only thing, and it's a melodrama in itself, and it can be very corny. I wasn't a big fan of that. With the flat lighting and
it's more
you know
aesthetic. I don't mind the
unspecial
plot.
editing at all. Very very traditional.
The plot beats I can accept. It's okay. Like, it's very. I mean, you see, like, the first 10 minutes, you kind of understand what's going to, the call to action for the absent father to become more present in the daughter's life. It's very.
But that is
obvious.
one of the most boring cliches ever.
Yeah, but like, I can accept it in the if the genre exploration is well done, and I think it's well done if it compensates. If it was like a straightforward drama and it's just about, like,
it would be even worse.
Then it's like, okay, no, then you have to do something better. But in this context, I can accept. But it just looks so flat most of the time, and
it falls flat,
unappealing.
The thing is, it does work in some sense. I agree because it has a lot of ties. It's about making the character, the protagonist, that is this father, debates against his own values, being selfish or being for the others, which his daughter is. His daughter is very generous, nice, etc. She has her mother's side. That's on a very basic, level. So men are horrible and selfish. Women are very generous. That's what happens in this film, and that's kind of one of the things that I find kind of childish. Which every other female character, amazing and docile and whatever. The men, horrible businessmen who have horrible.
That's not entirely.
Except for one man.
There's the one
man who's the one man who does the sacrifice,
and also the teenage guy.
The teenage guy, yeah.
That's true. But there's not one bad woman. No, I want the bad woman spread around, distributed. Okay, there's one.
Maybe.
But even then, it's not that bad. Which is the old lady who opens the door.
That's
and
not.
allows for.
I wouldn't say.
But
yeah,
she was all twisted up.
Yeah, she's twisted up. She was
Yeah.
looking at the other, like, the inhumanity of these people.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
But the thing,
I'm old. I don't care.
Yeah. Like Mike in the
the
cave.
values that the father is debating does have a through line. We're talking about that with the fact that there's other people on that train that share his values. Like, there's the other businessman who's a fucking jackass, who creates this whole commotion, which, creates these walls between the survivors. Oh, you are already sick. We are not. Protect us. You go back away. And then our protagonist, who is pushed, against being, the exiled ones, you are sick, is forced to see himself in that role that he didn't want to see himself. Fine. But then there are things that I don't like so much, like the fact that he's the one creator of this whole virus. Oh my God, Mr. Kim, we created this virus. Who
that completely...
Yeah,
that's me by.
My eye roll there was super ginormous, and I was like, oh no, it's so tight like a bow. And I'm like, oh God.
Because it's such a throwaway line. I mean, he's on the phone. Yeah, we created this. Okay.
How did we create this? It's like,
never mentioned again.
Like
never.
It just does not even come into play.
And I thought he was an analyst, sort of like a fund manager.
He's a fund manager. What the fuck?
And
is
then
a
the other is
fund
an
manager?
analyst. Yeah. Well, why do they?
What kind of
create...
funds?
I don't know.
That you're dealing with viruses. It's very strange. But
yeah,
I don't know if I missed something. I think, or maybe it's his, because he calls that military friend. I don't know. I don't know if that.
Yes, people in high places.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part I get. But then the actual being responsible for it.
Doing this.
That I understand. But that one friend who calls about having created a virus, or we created, I really did not. understand what
It felt too much like, let's make him even more evil to make him, you know, it's just like, it's just no need.
Let's explain a little bit the outburst, the outbreak. You know, let's give a little something for the audience as to why. It's, I'd rather not know.
And make him debate even more with his own meanness, you know, like a mean corporate dude. It's too much a movement of let's tie everything together very neatly and nice, and I don't think it's very interesting. And on that note, when he eventually becomes a zombie himself, I hated the fucking flashback to his daughter's birth, all in pink, this bright. It was so bad, so stupid, so corny, with his dumbfounded face looking at that baby like, oh, and then the piano, and I was like, oh my god, this looks like a Turkish soap opera. It's so bad, like the flat daylight.
It wasn't that bad, jeez.
Oh my god, I can't. That was the thing that I was debating the most with the film. Like, I'm enjoying the action stakes. I'm enjoying the impending danger of these many hordes of zombies in these very critical situations where you have like rolling stairs, you know, and then they find the zombies at the end of it, and this whole crowd needs to move up the stairs again. It's this impossible thing. It's very much, you know, very much akin to almost slapstick comedy, you know, where the physicality is going in tandem with the story, and that's very exciting, and it's pure Buster Keaton at times to that effect. But when it comes to the emotionality, sometimes it's really hard to get with the program because it's just sappy and corny. I mean, but anyway, it functions to a degree. I'm not saying that it doesn't function. It does.
I still think that. But I agree with it to some extent, because sometimes it is a little corny, especially if you read, you know, if you're reading dialogue lines in English. What would be the translation is kind of something that sometimes feels too on the nose. Like, I'm not sure it's well translated or what it is, but if they're saying that in Korean, I think it's kind of like super cliche. Sometimes the lines, stuff they say, is completely like explanatory of what is happening. But I also don't always know with this sort of translation and English subtitles what exactly they mean, so I usually give it the pass. But yeah, sometimes I agree it's a little corny, especially in connection with the shaping of his character, as we said, as a businessman and an evil person. But on the contrary, I did enjoy his connection with his daughter. I think on that side it's a bit more well built, and you can see the evolution happening towards them being closer. And by the end, I was kind of like, crap, she's really sad. And even though for him specifically with the baby and everything, it might be a little corny, I still enjoyed the moment of, you know, she's separating from her father, and she acted very well. So I was kind of like, okay, this is emotional. Did not expect it to get so like in your face emotional for this kind of film, because yeah, I mean, sometimes it goes a little extra. But I mean, if what you get is some level of intensity and characters like weeping for their loved ones, then, you know, I'll give it a pass. I don't mind.
Yeah,
I think it's what you get for this sort of film.
Yeah, I'll say I did not expect him to die. I thought, at least in my like trying to predict the film, I was like, obviously he's gonna survive, and they're gonna be together, and he's gonna be a better father now. So when he did get bit, I was like, oh, that's.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised, and yeah, I think that's why also it works. It works emotionally because of the daughter, not because I'm on Tomás. I'm Team Tomás. I also think it's corny the way it's done with him smiling as he's turning. It's like, oh my god.
And it's particularly interesting because it's a transformation, his transformation, that is quite slow. The majority of the transformations in the film are quite quick and snappy. Let's start killing.
You can excuse it. It was a little bar.
But it's still quick.
But you know, there was enough time to have a spiel with the daughter.
The love of the daughter is keeping him in. And you see the guy right before, but to be fair, right before that scene, there's the evil businessman, and he also takes like a long time to turn.
So
Like he,
the evil in them.
yeah, the
delays
evil in
thing,
them.
you know,
It's
that's the
like
thing.
the monster. The line between
Yeah,
monster and
yeah.
human is more thin in them, so
Yeah, the
it takes
virus
a
doesn't know
lot.
what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Is this guy
know,
really infected or not? I'm not sure.
Hey yo.
but that was because it was so slow. I mean, for in comparison to other transformations, I was thinking, is he immune? Is that going to be the discovery? Because I was still, like you said, like hoping that he would survive. Like that's what's going to happen, be a better father. But no, he eventually dies. So that was that.
I'm
But
expecting
yeah.
that in the sequel. The immunes.
The immune.
Yeah,
The
how do you
antidote.
continue this? Like Train to Busan 2 and then prequels and then
I don't think the
No,
sequel is cool.
now it's the return trip.
Yeah,
Now
of
it's
course.
Train to Seoul.
Train to Seoul.
I guess.
And this film took a beat from World War Z, which also has fast zombies.
Fast zombies.
Fair enough.
And what else?
Never seen
I
the
don't know.
film.
I was comparing a lot with that film because
Yeah.
immediately as I saw Fast Zombies, I was like, okay, what's the other Fast Zombie film that springs to
Yeah.
mind?
Mm.
And yeah, you can tell a lot of the little things that they do, like even the piling up of bodies and them almost running on top of each other
That was
to speed it
crazy.
up.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's something that also happens in World War Z.
oh, wow, okay.
So
I mean,
there
I was
are
very
bits
surprised.
of here and there that of things that they do creatively with the zombies that are interesting, but sometimes it's also stuff that appears in other films. Although by the end, with the whole piling up on the actual train and then catching the hands of each other to sort of make this line of zombies,
chain line.
that was interesting, like visually.
Yeah, I was not
Yeah,
expecting that. I was surprised.
That's pretty cool.
I also find the character of the other husband interesting, compelling for the emotionality of the story. He's the one character you connect the most, I would imagine.
They're basically all redeemable, except the evil guy, which is evil all the time and only becomes more evil. Everyone else
horrible.
kind of goes through
yeah,
this
he's
change of for goodness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
he
just
actually goes so far as to by the end to actually kill the other guy, pushing him into the zombies. I mean, just turns psycho.
He throws
The girl.
the guy, the train conductor comes to save him, so he doesn't push
No, but
him.
this is before
But she does
when he
go away.
exits the bathroom. He pushes the other.
Does he
the
not
other
push the girl into the zombies? Or
Yes,
He
that
does.
too. That too.
That was
What
like
a jackass.
Jesus.
I was like, fucking asshole. What the
But
fuck?
before he's trapped in the bathroom with the blue wearing guy, whatever, and he goes, "Yeah, it's clear. Go ahead." And then he pushes him,
Oh my god.
I don't
and then he goes out into the tracks, and then he pushes some more guys. And
Horrible people.
everyone he
horrible
sees is kill mode.
Yeah.
Living or dead,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
going down.
I think most of things have been said. There's one of the most interesting sequences is, of course, when they actually, take up the fight and they need to get to the carriage where, where his daughter and his wife, is. So they go through 3 carriages. He's not only defending, is offensive. Kind of they're on the offense and kind of putting those.
Yeah, and the play with the
protective-
shadows and the darkness of the tunnels.
Yeah, the learning of the danger. What are the weak spots that the monster has. It's very similar.
That's
with,
where I was like, oh, this is
descent.
we find the descent here a little bit in the learning
that's true.
process.
Yeah, and also like another aspect of the bridge between the descent and the and Train to Busan is that there are not movies with although the descent is better directed, there are movies that are not they have a very specifically rich atmosphere in terms of directing. They're very by the numbers in terms of their editing, conventional, so to speak. Although the Cave movie, The Descent, has more room to create that sort of allure through the kind of the lighting and etc.
I think the descent is a lot more. Like if the descent was just aesthetically, if it was just that beginning, if it was just the beginning, if the aesthetic of the film.
That's the thing. The Cave immediately creates this. It will be dark, so we will create a contrast in lighting, etc., and find ways to then have light. You need to have light. So red light, green light, flares, etc. So you are compelled to do that. If he had remained up here during daylight as a director, maybe it would be like,
of course,
bland lights.
but he tells the story he wants to tell. I mean,
Yeah,
Like
but
the,
it's
the
like it's very
decision to tell this
2000s.
story
It's
is
very
very 2000, but I
2000s
think
by the numbers.
aesthetically, I think
Popular
it's
movie.
unfair. I think this film
This
is so
one,
much
it's
more
also kind of
visually
underground.
bland. No, this one
Oh
is so
no,
much more
by
visually
comparison,
bland.
this one is the
I
comparison
wouldn't
I'm making is
even,
a very
I would
thin
just say
strand.
standalone. I look at The Descent and it's a very visually compelling film by itself.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I think that's unfair to say what you're saying, and you will apologize right now.
No, I definitely find The Descent a better movie visually and story-wise, much more gripping than this one. Although narratively speaking,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do
yeah, of course.
to make a deeper tie here. They do have this common ground of they use basic emotional kind of
Beats.
story beats or a storyline to then go off to what they really want
Of
to
course,
tell, which
yeah.
is the genre rules of it and how to express them in kind of new, interesting ways.
But I
And
mean,
that
but when your
compensates.
genre is horror, I mean, that's almost inevitable. It's intrinsic. You have to respect the fact that you're telling a story within a certain genre and that you need things to say in a certain manner.
But
That's
there are certain
it's a
movies where
confluence of both things.
to develop the inner characters much more in tandem and with much more layers with a horror than others. That's just it.
Yeah,
You know,
but for me, for example, on
when you
Train to
throw yourself into
Busan,
cliches and you don't spin them so much, then you
yeah,
know.
but that's for me that's the problem, so to speak, for me on Train to Busan. It's not so much the emotionality of it; it's how sometimes it's taken a little too far into the melodrama camp, where it's fine. It's almost like it's a melodrama, whatever. I don't mind it, but it's that side of it that is a little too much. Not the fact that these characters are sort of becoming redemptible and or the evil guy becoming more evil. It's sometimes not just how you portray it
I'm
and
not
how
saying
you
that those
force
things
it
are
down
bad
or
things.
not. No,
I'm not
that
saying that those things are the things that I have issue with The Descent. Although I don't have any big issues with The Descent. I really like The Descent. But what I'm discussing is the cliches. You know, the woman who loses her husband and family, horrible accident, that's a trauma that haunts her, that's a trauma she's going to try to solve in some way with the real life horror supernatural being that is the main antagonist in the film. Here, the absent father, away in his business world, corporate, that doesn't have time. These cliches that then it's not much of a spin is put on them because that's not where the story lies. The story then lies on facing the genre tropes things. And okay, that's fine. Like then make the genre trope stuff really cool, and they do it. They compensate there, so I don't have an issue there. I have an issue with Train to Busan more, because precisely what you said, the melodrama stretches a little bit far, in some occasions. So that's the problem I have. But there is inevitably this string of comparison between these two movies, in which they deal with these cliches that we have seen time and time again. It's not necessarily a bad thing because they really become interesting films in other aspects, but they have that parallel.
Yeah. No, that's
And
true. I was just defending the movie on visual aesthetics. Like, I think,
I do agree that The Descent
Yeah.
is better in visual aesthetics.
yeah, like
Just
this
that
one
it's
is
very
just
not
kind of
just better,
conventional.
not just
It's
better,
limited.
good.
I-
It's good.
Good.
it's good. It's not
Yes.
exactly. I'm saying on by itself. I don't need to compare it to Train to Busan. I can
Oh yes.
go to a random image on The Descent and I'll say this is like a thoughtful image. Like there was thought into this. With Train to Busan, I'm much more like this is easily confused with a TV show. Like that
Yeah.
didn't put a lot of thought into the image,
If
but more
Train
into
to
the plot.
Busan passed on TV, I would not watch it. Unless it was on the zombie attack already. Maybe I would stop.
Let's
But if
be
it
fair,
wasn't,
because narratively it's well constructed.
yes.
It's interesting to see how it plays out, and then
Yeah,
the
for
challenges are built up. For example, when they have the stop, and then it forces them to be separated onto the people that are on the sort
Yeah.
of higher, not higher, farther end of the train, and then the ones that are on the back, and how that poses the challenge of returning to each other. So it's interesting to see how, for a minimal space, we see different ways to play with this and to bring in challenges, separate characters. And also with that stop, you have that sequence of them going down the stairs and then coming back up when they see all the soldiers. So that was an interesting moment.
Very well
So to be
structured.
fair, yeah, it's well structured, and it creates intelligent solutions or rather, it creates intelligent problems for the characters to go through, and it's well, it's well put into the actual story itself, the actual train ride. So there are the stops and the obstacles on the way and everything. So yeah, I agree. It's the weakest part of it, the emotion of it all, the sense of melodrama. But overall, I think it still builds up to a fun film.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
to wrap it up.
Well-oiled machine.
And that's all for today. If you'd like to reach out and suggest a film for the next episode, you can find us on the podcast official Instagram and website pages. Feel free to subscribe, share this episode, or simply give us a like. That's our podcast can grow ever more groovy. And if you're on YouTube and want to see more videos like this, check out this next one right here. Thanks for listening and see you next time.